Double In, Double Out beim World Grand Prix zusammenbrachte. Und seitdem trägt er den Spitznamen der History Maker Brandon Dolan. Ladies and Gentlemen, toller Moment hier im Glaspalast von Sindelfingen, denn jetzt wartet die aktuelle Nummer 1 der Welt. Er hat 4 der letzten 5 European Tour Turniere gewinnen können. Er ist der dreimalige Weltmeister MVG, Mighty Mike, Michael van Gerwen.
Just 2 spots remain in the final day of the European Darts Grand Prix, a tournament which has seen so far the qualifiers outperform the seeds. 8 unseeded players are already through to the last 16. But it is the last 2 champions of this tournament up on that stage in the next 2 matches. Peter Wright, who won it 2 years ago, takes on the young Dutchman Niels Zonneveld in the final match of the evening, the penultimate one here. Michael van Gerwen, who's looking to carry on a streak on the European Tour, looking to make it 4 consecutive victories on the Euro Tour. He's up against a man who beat him in Denmark on it last year, Brendan Dolan, the history maker. We've seen the world number 2 become history. Rob Cross losing to Jeffrey Desvan earlier tonight. Can Michael van Gerwen, the world number 1, possibly follow? Paul Nicholson joins me to find out.
He can be beaten, we know that, but in current form, you have to say he's a massive favourite. But Brendan Dolan is going in the right direction.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
Now, after the World Championships where Big Stuff made the quarters and he ran into a Nathan Aspinall performance that is now becoming very commonplace.
58.
Yeah, standard Aspinall.
Yeah, I like that. Hashtag that one.
We've just witnessed it in his demolition job against Max Hutt that silenced the crowd.
79.
Absolutely. Well, since that World Championship run, Brendan has stuttered a little bit, but he's finding his feet again.
140.
And he's admitted to Elmar yesterday that he's putting things together. He's getting it right. And I, for one, am very excited about the prospect for
60.
Northern Ireland at the World Cup, where Brendan will play with Daryl Gurney, potentially have some battles with the Dutch. But Brendan, for me, is trending in the right direction, and Van Gerwen has been trending in the right direction for the best part of, what, 6 years now?
100. Michael
Well, the highest check at the tournament is still a 157 from Pero Lubic. In the first round yesterday, Van Gerwen is not going to supersede it here. Not in this leg, anyway.
Well, Van Gerwen has this knack of making a very good leg look rather ordinary, and
55.
leaving something
Michael
under 100 after 12 is playing well. We're going to have one shot at tops. Same graduation up north.
40.
A bit too overpowered. And Brendan is still finding his feet in this one.
Van Gerwen will have 3 at the same target when he returns, but under what pressure?
100.
So,
Michael 40.
Maybe he thinks that it's over. Double 10. Double 5. And misses
30.
from MVG. Invite Dolan in for an
Brendan
unlikely break.
107.
And we do know that Brendan likes double 16, so the route here really is to get the 57 and then go 18 double 16.
well, it can still be done.
99.
Van Gerwen, the last
Michael
visit, went
10.
around the roundabout but failed to take the right exit.
Wasn't comfortable on the first start, and he's going to be
No
very
score.
uncomfortable with missing a big number.
Never mind, failing to take
Brendan
the exit,
Uruguay,
turned into a car
8.
crash for MVG.
Someone get your history books out. I can't remember the last time you missed a big number.
Yeah, it's on
And
the first leg.
big stuff. The
Brendan.
history maker
Second leg is
has
Brendan.
taken the first leg unbelievably.
Game on.
Looked like Van Gerwen was cruising. But Dolan nicked it after that rare mistake from Michael Van Gerwen. You can forgive a missed dart inside double 5, but to then shut the second one in the 19. You're right, Paul. You very, very rarely see that.
You do. Well, you asked me a question at the start of the match about the chances for Brendan Dolan. Well, they're better now.
Well, they are, but a similar thing in Denmark last year. In Copenhagen, Dolan wasn't really given a chance against Michael Van Gerwen, who was, as he so often is, in
140.
fantastic form, but got the job done 6-4.
Well, let's say that Brendan does do the job tonight. We may have to ask him where he
140.
has located the Michael Van Gerwen voodoo doll.
Well, if he has located it, he forgets to bring it with him sometimes, because Van Gerwen does lead the head-to-head record by 17 wins to 4.
45.
It's better than some other people's records.
True.
If you didn't know already, I'm trying to find a thing for everybody on the Euro Tour. I've just discovered the Nathan Aspinall mute button
92.
in that last game, where he gave it large to the crowd and he didn't react at all, which was very odd. And Brendan has the Michael Van Gerwen voodoo doll.
What's Michael Van Gerwen got from the
45.
Euro Tour,
Michael
apart from loads of
132.
titles and loads of cash?
I'll think of something.
The signature shots.
107.
It was the 1-3-2 that won MVG's first Premier League. He might not finish top of the Premier League for the first time. All will be revealed on Thursday.
If he doesn't,
54.
watch out,
Michael
World of
25.
Darts, because there's going to be a reaction to that. Double 8.
Yeah,
Misses
on the
it
second
doubles
leg,
until
Michael
now.
Van Gerwen.
He's got himself fired
Third
up
leg is Michael to throw
as the
first.
world number 1.
Game on.
Van Gerwen breaks Brendan back and has control back. And now he's going all around the board, couldn't find the third
135.
treble, and he probably had no need to switch with the final dart, but he just fancied something fancy.
He does that, doesn't he? He likes to spice things up a bit.
100.
But is Michael Van Gerwen there for the taking? Not top of the Premier League, was dumped out of the UK Open by Mervyn King.
I'm going to say no.
138.
Well, I'm glad you're saying no, Paul, because when you actually look at the statistics for the year, Michael Van Gerwen in 2019 has won 8 out of 12 tournaments he's competed in, including the World Championship.
81.
he's won more tournaments this year than a lot of people win in their career. And I've said that
96.
for the last 5 years. I think he is going to break a lot of Phil Taylor's records.
It is remarkable that we've got a situation, it's very early in the season, but Michael Van Gerwen is picking and choosing now more than ever, has skipped loads of the floor events already
Michael
this year.
132.
But he could be on for a record haul playing fewer tournaments.
He's
Have
determined
another go.
to get the 1-3-2.
Michael Van Gerwen.
Well, was that an
Well, he's
accident?
Brendan to throw
Did
first.
he leave it
Game
on purpose?
He's played 3 legs in this match and he's left 170 and 132 twice. And now he feels good having taken out
100.
his favourite finish. And Brendan Dolan, who was handed the first leg, gift wrapped with a stick of cinnamon
35.
on top, he's not feeling so good.
Yeah, the opposite of Daryl Gurney's walk-on song. Not so good. But we have laid down challenges for Van Gerwen in the past.
97.
And one that he hasn't... I think he's accepted it, but he hasn't fulfilled it yet, is the 9-darter with
140.
the 2 174s and the 153 at the end. There's plenty of time, Michael, but we need it by New Year's Eve.
Brendan, of course, had a very famous 9-darter of his own.
Well, when Wadey got it and
140.
Thornton got it the same match, Brendan was at home just, you know, feet up, saying, done that. Old hat.
96. Brendan Uruguay 164.
Copycats.
Well, this is a finish in the same range as the one he completed for that.
Some dart, that. Only had a quarter of the bed to aim at.
Well,
Maybe a third.
he's having a think here because he hasn't got any of the bed to aim at, really, has he?
88.
Which is why he tried to find treble 16. Would have left tops. Van Gerwen, well, he won't mind if he just hits a single 20 here, really.
100.
Does better.
Brendan
Yes.
Uruguay 76.
Very good dart indeed. Now, 2 darts, a double 8. Great chance to equalise,
Games
and
on the fourth leg.
doesn't need asking
Brendan
twice.
Fifth leg is Michael to throw first.
Very
Game on.
clinical.
Yeah, he put some pressure on there with that last dart, Van Gerwen, and Dolan just shrugged his shoulders and
99.
produced a very, very clinical checkout, as you said, Paul.
Well, Brendan Dolan knows all about playing great players in big games. He's played
100.
Phil Taylor in a major final. He has played James Wade in that amazing semi-final in that same tournament. He's gone deep into other tournaments
84.
and got his own Pro Tour stuff in the bank. But I always go back to a game he played against Phil Taylor in Mulheim in the European Championship. It was won by Simon Whitlock, and he
140.
suffocated Phil Taylor with efficient scoring and finishing. And the end of that match, for me, it marred the
100.
performance of Brendan Dolan when Phil Taylor covered the mouth of Brendan Dolan and didn't accept any words from him. I thought it was very strange. But that performance from Dolan that day in Mulheim for me was so measured. And I became an even bigger fan of his game that day because everything is calculated.
96. Brendan Uruguay 161.
Well, he knows how to calculate this particular checkout. This was the one that made history. Not going to take it out here. And Van Gerwen, having had the 1-3-2, will feel
58.
very, very
Michael
confident about
122.
cleaning up 1-2-2.
4 18s. 1 down. 4 down.
97.
He just missed.
Brendan Uruguay
It's a very well thrown
103.
dart.
Well, the 76 was clinical, but this would be on a different level for Brendan Dolan to break.
82 left. I think 42 is probably the shot there
63.
because it's a bigger
Michael
target.
Uruguay
Yeah, it's also a
25.
pile of that, isn't it? Players who like double 16 going for the ball, but with 2 darts in hand, I make you right there, Paul. Van Gerwen's only got one left here.
17.
And that is an absolute
Brendan
flyer.
Uruguay, 40.
Been way too many wayward darts in this match to feel confident for Van Gerwen's chances against Brendan. Double top. One dart at tens. And it's there. He's there to mop up.
Sick leg is Brendan to throw first.
He's making things very iffy for Van Gerwen, but it's of Michael's own giving, really. He's giving the chances to Brendan.
Yeah, Michael Van Gerwen has already
95.
missed in this match. 10 darts at double. Dolan is
136.
picking up the pieces.
And Van Gerwen was on for that first 174 there. Needed that second treble 19.
Well, I think if he was thinking about fancy finishers and
85.
fireworks for the fans early on in the match, he now knows that he's in a match and all he needs be concerned with is winning it.
131.
Anybody who thinks that they're not in a match before they've started against Brendan Dolan is sorely mistaken. He is really hard to beat. And back at a time in 2012-ish when he was really
60.
strong, picking up titles, he was more deliberate, but these days he's playing a quicker pace. And I'm not saying that
48.
he was not very watchable a few years ago, but nowadays, because of his slightly quicker pace, he may be a bit more watchable.
Well, that was another slip from Van Gerwen, and if Dolan can find a couple of trebles, he would have left himself very handy. One would have given him a finish, but it's a let off.
Oh, 136.
That was good thinking. Could have easily stayed downstairs on that 19 bed, but knew that the 60 was the prudent play.
Well, Dolan broke Van Gerwen's throw
45. Michael Uruguay, 50.
in leg 1 and leg 5.
Wasn't a particularly convincing single 18, that. Double 16 has missed again.
Brendan
Is he
Uruguay,
going to surrender the break
156.
straight away, just like he did earlier on in the match? Or is he going to pull out something special here?
Well, Brendan hasn't got a 156 in that bag of darting tricks.
44. Michael Uruguay,
If
16.
he's got the voodoo doll, he's going to have to get it out and see if MVG can miss double 8, but it's not going to happen this time.
Michael Van Gerwen.
And a wow from MVG.
Michael to throw first.
Well, it is
Maybe an ironic wow.
surprisingly below par performance from the world number 1, and he's perhaps the most surprised by it. Not very often you see him averaging in the low 90s. The reason
25.
that he's managed to have this tied at 3 apiece is the fact that Brendan is averaging in the low 80s.
Well, we talked earlier this evening when JDZ took out Rob Cross.
134.
Was that well, there's never a good defeat, but was that a good defeat for Rob Cross so that he has an extra
59.
day and a half of rest, ready for the challenge ahead on Thursday? Well, I'm not even going to attempt to go where you think I'm going to go and say, would it be a good defeat for Van Gerwen tonight? Because he wants to win as many of these as possible. He wants to keep that ratio up.
If he wanted to rest for Thursday, he wouldn't be here, would he, Michael
Correct.
Van Gerwen? And it is an interesting one. The players that are
96.
involved in the Premier League, still in contention for either top spot or playoff places, they have had a real mixed bag over this weekend. It all started with James Wade, who decided not to travel and come to the tournament. Rob Cross knocked out. Gerwen Price putting in a stunning performance. Daryl Gurney having to dig himself out of a hole and survive match darts against Chris Dobie. Mensa Suljovic losing a last leg decider to Steve Beaton. And now Michael Van Gerwen struggling and really struggling against Brendan Dolan, who here has half a dozen darts to break the world number 1 again.
Another 16 to lay up perfectly.
89.
And the Premier League guys, you have to take into consideration they do more miles, they have to practice more.
95. Brendan Uruguay, 40.
There was a Very large inhalation there from MVG. I wonder if he's feeling a bit sniffly.
Game shot on the
Well,
centre leg.
if he's
Brendan
feeling
Dolan.
sniffly,
His leg is Brendan to throw
it's
first.
no excuse really.
Game on.
But now he's 4-3 down, and there's been lots of breaks of throw in this match so far, Murph.
That is Brendan Dolan's third. The previous two were followed by breaks back.
38.
If you'd have said to Brendan Dolan before this match started that he would break MVG 3 times and hadn't have won the match yet, he wouldn't believe you.
We're on course for a third straight break back because Dolan only managed to muster up 38 with his first 3 darts, and Michael van Gerwen has managed 180.
100.
Well, 38 at the start of a leg against MVG, it's like using paper scissors on a rock. It's just not going to cut it.
57.
Very, very strange game of darts this, because Michael van Gerwen is poor by his exceptional standards. Brendan Dolan is still being heavily
100.
outscored by Michael van Gerwen, yet has managed to hit 4 doubles from 6 attempts and has the lead.
We've seen on a few occasions this season on the Euro Tour MVG not performing but still getting the job done. MVG versus Wright last week in the quarterfinals was a great example of that. And Michael said, Peter will never beat me if he can't beat me when I'm averaging 90.
32. Michael 124.
1-2-4, 6 darts at it. That's why I didn't go the 14 route.
92.
Leaves it handy instead. Much better leg from Van Gerwen on 32 after a dozen darts. 2 break back for the 3rd time in the match. It must be frustrating for Brendan that every time he's put in the leg that's broken the throw,
Michael 32.
he's chucked in, well, not very much at all. And he's had the chance to move clear. Will he still get the chance to move clear?
It's just more frustration for Michael when he's missing darts double like that. It's planting the seed of doubt in this game.
15 he's now missed.
Now Dolan on 186 after 15. That's not going to beat MVG on his
60.
D game,
Michael
and he knows it. You can see the frustration from Brendan. Double 4 for MVG. Double 1. And it's there, it's right in the middle. It is 4-4.
Michael to throw first. Game on.
And let's pick an even better word than strange, shall we? I think perplexing is probably a good one.
Yeah, he will be as
132.
perplexed as anybody by this performance. He has survived scares on the Euro Tour, but has generally played well in those matches and has met opponents playing well and edged them out.
140.
Well, the scratching of the head from Brendan, I can totally understand it, because it's MVG's throw again, and he's at 140.
Yeah. Off he goes again. Had he managed to do it just once when defending one of those breaks, Dolan might have this done and dusted by now.
Well, why doesn't he just beat MVG with 5 breaks a throw?
35.
More puzzling facial expressions from Brendan.
Look at that. The difference in the doubling is why this match is still going on.
There's a bit of a lurch in some of these darts from MVG. I'm not sure whether he's feeling a bit lethargic after quite a busy period. He has been to
100.
all the Premier League nights, of course, and all of the Euro Tours. He's going to miss the Copenhagen event, so he's not going to be able to pick up that title this season. He'll have to try in 2020.
Yeah, well, he's looking to make it 5 from 6 this weekend, and then we'll hope to increase that tally in the Dutch Darts Masters, but he's got work to do. Not just this weekend, but in this match. 2 darts at double 8. Now double 4. More
72.
misses from MVG.
And then you require 86.
Well, this has got Brendan Dolan written all over it, because if he gets the treble, it leaves double 16. Treble hit. Double 16. Good guide. And he gets it. Another break of throw.
10 leg is Brendan to throw first.
Oh.
Game on.
4 breaks of throw against the world number 1 for Brendan Dolan. Can he finally follow it up with a hold and send the world champion packing at the very first hurdle?
There's more breaks you can possibly imagine in this game. More breaks than a glass footballer who plays in the Premier League.
I'll have to word this right, but you wouldn't mind being a fly on the wall in the hotel room of James Richardson right now.
I think he'd just be making noises, because when he's playing darts, he just makes noises.
It's his win against Mervyn King. I'm sure he would have assumed that he'd have a meeting with Michael tomorrow afternoon.
I actually got a quote from James Richardson earlier. During his match this afternoon, he said he was like a bulldog chewing a wasp.
What was that first start from Dolan? No, it's not double start in this tournament, Brendan.
He didn't get the memo. Sometimes you just get a flyer that you can't control.
This is the chance, Paul.
Yes,
the opportunity to win the match 6-4, just like he did in Denmark last season. Dolan has half a dozen darts to close this out. No treble. Will it spell trouble?
Oh, 2-3-4. Doesn't have to worry about being crafty on the board. That is an amazing 140.
149.
Really having to graft here, MVG. Dolan has got this for the match. Is he forcing MVG to go for the bullseye on this 94 combo?
94.
I can't see him going for the bull. Will he?
54. 51. 40.
Yeah,
Fantastic. There are times when you are asked a question and he is up for it. Socks pulled up. Here we go. The streak's under threat. Last leg decider time.
Was that a mind game from Van Gerwen, pulling the socks up right in front of Brendan Dolan's face?
140.
Where does he find it, Michael Van Gerwen?
In the socks.
Played his get out of jail card 4 times in this match.
Well, we've given Nathan the mute button from last game. We've given Brendan the MVG voodoo doll. Well, surely there's got to be some MVG socks out there. And the auto pull-up. The auto pull-up MVG socks. There you go. Don't say I don't give you anything.
100.
Not over yet, though.
Well, look at the 19s here.
Brilliant.
133.
Leaving 1-3-2. For the 3rd time in the match. He missed it on the bull first time round. Second time he got it. Can he get another one to win this match 6-5 and keep the streak alive? And more importantly, get himself through to Sunday to play against James Richardson.
Doesn't even go that way, doesn't entertain it. Just wants to get the job done.
92.
Keep that incredible streak of last leg deciders one going. But boy, has Michael Van Gerwen survived a scare here if he does get the job done when he comes back. Broken 4 times. Brought back 4 times.
40.
And now he wants double top to move into the final day by the skin of his teeth. Brendan Dolan had Michael Van Gerwen right where he wanted him in that match, but he could not finish the job. Van Gerwen survives a scare, wins another last leg decider and moves in to the final day of action here at the European Darts Grand Prix. 1 match left tonight. Niels Donneveld takes on the winner here from a couple of years ago, Snakebite. Peter Wright coming up next.
Gegen Brendan Dolan und steht damit im Achtelfinale. Erfolg. Michael, congratulations. That was quite difficult. But you know, winning matches like that is much more difficult than winning a match with an average of 115 or something like that.
Yeah, I had to work really hard for this. I didn't feel confident. You could see it on my doubles. I wasn't playing well, but yeah, what do you? Tomorrow is a different day, and I'm really glad I won. I hope. Sorry for putting my 100% my best, but I hope they still all enjoyed.
The 24th deciding leg on European Tour in a row. You won. That's unbelievable.
I'll make it quick in the next games, I promise you, tomorrow.
Okay, that's good.
Smash them, yeah?
Okay. See you tomorrow, Michael. Thank you very much. Michael van Gerwen, sagt, das tut mir ein bisschen leid. Hab heute nicht mein bestes Spiel gehabt, hab nicht gut gecheckt. Er will es morgen besser machen.